Namaskar. This Wednesday evening, we'll be reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, English page 891 and Bengali 965. Now, where Thakur Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is trying to mention, trying to express that the divinity is expressed through him. And that is the time he cannot behave like the ordinary human being. But Dr. Sharkar, he is not understanding it. So anyway, that we will study. Now let us chant from this mantra, start from this mantra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhirilitam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam Srimadaatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. We are studying the Master's training of his disciples. That is the heading, and that chapter is going on. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioned that when he goes into a divine condition, and he can't understand actually what he is doing, because that was not, it is his body, but it is God who is working through that body. So sometimes something that he will do is very difficult to explain. One day he placed the holy feet on the body of the Vijay Krishna Goswami. Vijay Krishna Goswami, he was one of the leader of the clan of Brahma Samaj, and afterwards he was a leader of the Vaishnavas. And Sri Ramakrishna used to respect him. But this moment he did that, and he said, I don't know, somebody else did it. But it is very difficult for any person, maybe he is a doctor, an engineer, maybe highly qualified in different in our the science and all, but difficult to understand the power of God. As because we don't have conception of God. So obviously it looks at us, seems to us that this is madness, one should not do like this, he should not behave like this. So that conversation was going on, and once in that strange mood of mine, I placed my foot on Vijay's chest. You know how greatly I respect him. And I placed my foot on his body. What do you say to that? He is asking the doctor. Doctor said, but now you should be careful. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna with folded hands. What can I do? I become completely unconscious in that mood, that I do not know at all what I am doing. But look at a doctor, it is just like us, not understanding actually what he meant by that, and instead of appreciating, he is telling, you should be careful, no use folding your hands now and expressing regret. He is not expressing his regret, he is only expressing that it is a mood that comes. It is not Dr. Sharkar's fault, it is the fault of all of us, because we do not understand, we do not know what is God. So obviously Dr. Sharkar is looking at that from the social point of view. One person should not do like that, putting the feet on the chest of another person. No, he should not. And okay, we love each other, we respect each other, we appreciate each other, but it doesn't mean that we have to think, oh, he is God and I am not. No, it is not necessary. So that is the way Dr. Sharkar is thinking, and he is mentioning in that way. Sri Ramakrishna is trying to tell him that it is not he, the person, but it is the God which is within him. Then he says, the doctor, now listen, sir. Then they said, can I do anything myself in that mood? What do you think of this state? If you think it is a hoax, then I should say that your study of science and all that is also hoax. The doctor, now listen, sir. Would I come to see you so often if I thought it all a hoax? You know that I neglect many other duties in order to come here. Dr. Sharkar is mentioning that he is liking Sri Ramakrishna. But Sri Ramakrishna wants to convey that it is not the body that he is treating, it is the God that is within. And then the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, once I said to Mathur Babu, see, he is not directly telling him anything, he is giving an hint so that he can understand. Once I said to Mathur Babu, don't think that I have achieved my desired end because you, a rich man, show me respect. There is sometimes it is like if a rich man or a very famous person is appreciating, respecting, visiting a holy man or a place, ordinary people, all they think, oh, he must be holy because he is coming there, because he is supporting him, like that. As a basking in the reflected glory. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, no. I told Mathur Babu, don't think because if you are rich, because you are a rich man, you are supporting me, so I have achieved this. Not at all. Very clearly he is mentioning this. And of course you must remember that a mere man can do nothing. It is God alone who makes one person obey another. Man is straw and dust before the power of God. Before the power of God, man is a straw and dust. Now, what happened? We always think that we are doing it. A very good singer, he thinks, I am singing. A speaker, a writer, an administrator, successful businessman, everywhere, the people, they take the credit and think that they are doing it. But they forget it is the power of God that is manifesting through them. But they become very, very egoistic. Immediately they won't talk to the ordinary people, will never mix with them. They never think about them. They think we are all separate, we are special. But they forget it is the God's power. Any moment it can go away. That is exactly the God's power. We saw that on the 11th September 1893 here in Chicago. A young man of 29, young sannyasi. And he stood over there, still the stage is there. And he delivered a lecture, very small, hardly 5 or 6 minutes talk. And that mesmerized the whole world. And the psychology of the Indians, and they were under the subjugation for so many hundreds of years, almost like 1,000 years. In one go, immediately everything changed. Not that everyone are very educated and they read the newspaper, not like that. The information that he is successful over there, the information that the India is having its own respect and the past glory, that completely changed the psychology of the whole India. Though it was divided in so many different ways by the then rulers, because that was their power, divide and rule. Immediately, all those things went away. They became united. India is an unique country, many of you, must be knowing. India has so many varieties of religions, languages, culture, but they are united, but they are one. which others cannot think of. One state, one language, one religion, that is the way they go. If there is two, immediately there will be constant fighting. Sometimes they will be fighting for years together. But India, they live together. So many varieties of religions, faiths are there. So many ways they talk, so many languages, so many different type of culture. The rulers, they should understand it. India's unity is diversity. Its strength is diversity. But the Didain rulers, they thought they will divide and they will rule. But they made the mistake. And Swami Vivekananda's talk, only one lecture, that also delivered far, far away from India, that completely changed the whole scenario. Don't you think it is the power of God? That proves that God is there, and God, power of God is so powerful. Anything He can do, anything. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning that man is straw and dust before the power of God. The most of the time, the religious people, they think that we should have some support from the business groups or some political group. It's not necessary. If you are true a holy person, it is depending on the God. It is power of God. If God wants, He can do anything. And it says, what is God? In Vishnu Puran, it mentions God is Vaisharyasya Samugrasya, Viryasya Yashasya Sriyaha, Jnana Vairagya Yogaschaiva, Shannam Bhaga iti Smritam. Aishwarya is a treasure. Aishwarya means treasure. And what is that? Spiritual treasure. The Shadasampatti. Shama, Dhamma, Upurati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. They are all spiritual, the wealth. When a man says that I am spiritual, it is not his money. It is not his certificate from the university. It is these qualities that proves that he is a spiritual person. Shama, Dhamma, Upurati, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhan. I am not going to explain this because many a times it has been explained. But again, it is the Ashtasiddhi, another type of power. The Ashtasiddhi, that is the yogic treasure. Anima, Mahima, Garima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakamma, Ishitva and Bashitva. Anima means it can become small any moment. Mahima, it can become huge any moment. Garima, it becomes very heavy. Lagima, it becomes light. Prapti, obtain. Ishitva, a lordship. And Bashitva, the power of control. These are the power of God, what a man can do. So these are all this tremendous power. Now for other things, the worldly pleasure, worldly things is nothing for God. It's just I mentioned about the spiritual power, yogic power, that is God. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, man is straw and dust before the power of God. Those who are successful, if they remember this, they can become successful all through their life. The moment one becomes king or an administrator, a ruler of a country, he thinks, oh, I am the only person. He forgets. Every moment, somewhere in the world, that all these informations are coming, that the atrocity, and one day it will all break. And even you cannot live in your own country, in your own place. You have to fly from there somewhere else, hide somewhere else, and live a very an insulting life, failure life. Is that what you want? Why we are not learning from the pages of the history? Because ego. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again and again mentioning that because of your ego, people they think, I am supporting this man, that's why he is successful. It is not like that. Whether you support or not, sometimes some people they give donation and they start thinking, though I am somebody, and whenever I will go to the ashrama, go to the institution, they should give me all respect and attention. It's a great mistake. He loses all the credit. Whatever the donation he gave in exchange, no blessings of God, and moreover, he is making a great mistake because the God's blessings not only going away from him and incurring sin also. Why? Tremendous ahamkara. The one thing that God never can accept. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioning that. Do you think I shall obey you because a certain fisherman obeyed you? It is a reference to the life of Jesus Christ. The doctor, we can understand, an educated person is trying to understand, but his ego coming again and again. So he has read some of the books. In those days it was very easily available, these Bibles. He went through those pages. He is quoting from there. Some of the fishermen obeyed you, shall I have to obey you too? Undoubtedly I show you respect as a man. He quoting from the Bible. Sri Ramakrishna, do I ask you to show me respect? Again, the Sri Ramakrishna, he is not waiting that you will come and show respect. God doesn't bother whether you come to him or not. It is your own benefit that you are coming. And many a times we have seen in our life, even the very rich man, he wants to give something, but God won't take. Somehow he can't offer it. It can't. I cannot mention all this because it is connected with the life of many people, but we have observed it, we have seen it. They are close, they are coming to the ashrama, but because of their ego, because of their attitude, the way they behave, they are going away from God. God will never accept them. And very ordinary person, very humble person, as if from somewhere he will come and his things will be accepted by the God. So God's power is there. Those who have observed, they have understood it. Do I ask you to show me respect? Then the Girish Ghosh also said, does he ask you to show him respect? Because they are not very happy the way the Dr. Sharkar was arguing again and again. Doctor to the Sri Ramakrishna. What are you saying? Do you explain it as the will of God? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. What else can it be? What can a man do before the will of God? Arjuna said to Sri Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, I will not fight. It is impossible for me to kill my own kinsman. Sri Krishna replied, Arjuna, you will have to fight. Your very nature will make you fight. Then the Sri Krishna revealed to Arjuna that all the men on the battlefield were already dead. Nimitta matra bhavasabhya sachin. That is the sloka that he said in the Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna was arguing, thinking that he is going to do. But it is again very difficult for the worldly minded people. They always think about themselves and their ego, and they forget that before their birth this world was there, after their death this world will be there. Nobody bothers whether he was born and whether he is dead. Nobody bothers. World will be like this. If the God has chosen him for a particular job And if he can do that with dedication, he will get the benefit of peace. His mind will be peaceful, he will be remembered by the people, and he will be worshipped by the people. And for the eternity, he will be surviving. Eternity means he will be surviving for many, many, many years in the minds of the people. They will remember him. So that is ultimately a person like Arjuna, a hero like Arjuna even, couldn't understand it. So we can understand it is so difficult to accept God in everything. I think other day someone was telling that this moment we are sitting over here and we are taking the snacks and coffee, do you think it is also the will of God? And I told, if we follow Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said that even a dry leaf cannot fall without his permission, without the will of God. In that case, whatever we are doing, yes, of course, that is the will of God. And it is not the first time that we are doing. In many, many yugas, we are again and again coming and doing the same thing, unless and until we are going beyond the circle of birth and death. And how we can go out of this circle? Only by giving up all desires. Ami mole ghuchibe janjal, as he said, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in Bengali, if you can eradicate, uproot your ego, immediately you are free. That moment you are God. Once some Sikhs came to the Kali temple at Dakshinesha. They said, you see, the leaves of the Ashwatha tree are moving. That too is the due to the will of God. Without his will, not even a leaf can move. Doctor, if everything is done by the will of God, then why do you chatter? Why do you talk so much to bring knowledge to others? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He makes me talk. Therefore I talk. I am the machine and he is the operator. Excellent answer immediately. But when I read this, I feel bad for doctor. Either he is just behaving outwardly in that way, or he is not understanding that God is sitting before him. And maybe, again, from the another viewpoint, God has given him that duty to behave like that, talk like that, so that the drama makes it interesting. Though the God himself is trying to give him the light, he is understanding a little, at the same time, again making the mistake, thinking this is ordinary. And that is called Maya. That is called the power of God. It's so difficult. And you say that you are the machine. That's all right. Or keep quiet, knowing that everything is God. Doctor mentioned. Girish goes to the doctor. Whatever you may think, sir, the truth is that we act because he makes us act. Can anyone take a single step against the Almighty will? Doctor, but God has also given us free will. I can think of God or not as I like. Girish, you think of God or do some good work because you like to. Really, it is not you who do these things, but your liking of them that makes you do so. Girish, why should that be so? I do these things as my duty. Girish, even then, it is because you like to do your duty. Doctor, suppose a child is being burnt. From a sense of duty, I rush to save it. Girish, you feel happy to save the child, therefore you rush into the fire. It is your happiness that drives you to the action. A man eats opium because tempted by such religious and puffed rice or fried potatoes. Everybody laughed. Sri Ramakrishna, a man must have some kind of faith before he undertakes a work. Further, he feels joy when he thinks of it. Only then does he set about the performing the work. Suppose a jar of gold coin is hidden underground. First of all, a man must have faith that jar of gold coin is there. He feels joy at the thought of the jar. Then he begins to dig. As he removes the earth, he hears the metallic sound. That increases his joy. Next, he sees a corner of the jar. That gives him more joy. Thus, his joy is ever on the increasing. Standing on the porch of a Kali temple, I have watched the ascetic performing some smoke of hemp, their smoke of hemp. I have seen their faces beaming with joy in anticipation of the smoke. So here, the question is, everything is done by God. Now, where from our thought has come? Is it my thought, or it has been prompted by the nature? And nature is guided by the God. In that way, if we analyze, we cannot go beyond the power of God. Everything is done by Him, including our thought. Whatever action we have done before in our past life, that has brought me over here and given me this life. And whatever the action that I am going to do now is prompted by the past actions. If that was good, then the good feeling will come. As the doctor said, if someone is burning, I have to rush to save him. But there will be people, you don't bother about that. Why the two different type of thoughts? That is because our nature are different. There's some people will stab a person and rob off the thing, and another person will rush over there and to save that man. Why? Because of the nature. Why this different type of nature? Because the will of God. It comes from our past karma. The karma is giving us this type of nature, and according to that nature we are acting. Again, that nature is accumulating different type of result, but all is going because God wanted us to do like that. This again and again we go back to the Mahabharata, Arjuna and Krishna, to give the references. This is because they were ready to kill each other. At that moment, Bhagavan Krishna is giving the high philosophy that you are not the body and mind, you are the self. And self never dies, it is eternal. But at this moment, since you cannot understand that, think that everything is done by God. And in that way, whatever you do, you are not affected by that. You are free from that karma phala. So all goes to the goal. The goal is liberation. Liberation from suffering. Whenever we take the birth, whatever may be the birth, human or animal or bird or tree, whatever the birth, it is all suffering. As long as our body and mind is associated, we suffer. You will never find a person who is really, really happy. In the life of Bhagavan Buddha, we have seen that again and again he saw the people are suffering, different grades, different type. Everywhere people are suffering. and in different stages, very, very rich, fabulously rich. And the man's daughter, I read in the newspaper, she wants to come out from that. She wants to be free, but the family tradition won't allow her. They are keeping her, and she is having so many things. Anything in the world she wants, that is given to her. Even then she is not happy. And sometimes some people who are having the freedom but not much of money or the social respect, they are also unhappy. They can go anywhere. They can eat anything, but even then they are not happy. In one side, the fabulously rich, the man's daughter is not happy, though she is having everything in the world, any wealth, everything is there. But another side, though they are free, even they are not happy. Then who can be happy? That happiness we are pursuing. And ultimately we come to the conclusion that there is something which is called God, and which is all-powerful, almighty, all-pervading. If we can realize that, because that is the source of our creation, if we can understand that, realize that, then we can get that joy, that happiness, eternal freedom, and free from all fear, our goal will be fulfilled. So we are going towards that. Spiritual life is nothing but going back to the source of happiness. It is not suffering, it is not nothing. In the beginning, people think that they are suffering, they are not eating, they are not enjoying, they are not, but no. Actually, they are going towards that happiness which is eternal, and for that, some of the practices they are doing, it has already been practiced, already been done, tested, and proved that these are the paths. What paths? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna showed in his life, and then he is teaching us. He is mentioning this way, and doctors and Girish going on talking, why should that be so? I do these things as my duty. Even then it is because you like to do that. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also mentioned, doctor, but take the case of fire. It gives both heat and light. Light, no doubt, illumines objects, but the heat burns the body. Likewise, it is not an unadulterated joy that one reaps from the performance of duty. Duty has its painful side too. Aim to Girish. Master Moshe is very, he was very submissive type of person, and Girish very aggressive. The Girish is arguing. Master Moshe also thinking, and he's a very intelligent person. So he wanted to say something, but instead of saying that directly, he is saying through Girish. Master Moshe to Girish. As the proverb goes, if the stomach gets food, then the back can bear a few blows from the host. There is joy in sorrow also. And there is a proverb in Bengali, and just this moment I am forgetting. In my life also I got that one Swamiji wrote to me. That is just forgetting this moment. So that proverb says, suppose someone has given you food, and after eating that you are very satisfied, and if that person gives one or two blow on your back, it can be okay, it can bear it, no problem. Now I am well, I am happy and healthy, and if you are giving one or two blows, I can bear it. So that is the way it says. What happened? In my life, I was in Brahmachari that time, and one senior Swamiji, he asked me to do something. I did that, but then he forgot what he promised. Then our President Maharaj, the then Bireshwaranandaji Maharaj, he wanted to know what happened. I was not supposed to do that because that senior Swamiji asked me not to do. So I stopped doing. But secretly, I went over there and then got all information. And when the president was asked, then these people all started, hey, what happened over? Who knows? Then ultimately they came to me, you know that. Then I went over there, all the seniors were sitting. They wanted to know what happened. At that Swamiji, who asked me that you need not to do anything because we were in the training center, and the training center time, the brahmacharis are not supposed to go out to see the other people and all. It's a very strict life, 2 years, 3 years, we have to pass through that. And as because that was a different situation, they asked me to do that, I did. And now this Swami was also there. And if I tell that this is the Swami who asked me not to go, I do not know anything, then he will be insulted. And he's a very respected Swami. Because of the different pressure, he forgot that moment. So I took that all blame on me. And then I said that actually what happened, though I am not supposed to go, as because he is my friend, so I went over there and then I saw him. Of course, I took the permission of the in-charge Swami. I never mentioned that too, because maybe they will be angry with him. Why you have given the permission? So these are all administration. Then ultimately I said, I am sorry, I made the mistake, but I have all the information. When they got all the information, they were happy, but they told, you are not supposed to do this, you should take proper the permission, then you should go. I took the permission, but I never mentioned that, to keep them away from this. That was that. Then nothing happened. I was happy, I came back. I went to the prayer, and after the prayer, when I came back in the training center, the scarcity of food, the morning, and at about 12 o'clock you will get some rice, and then afterwards 9 o'clock again. The 12 and 9 in between, nothing is there. We used to feel very hungry, young people. And that day came, oh my God, I found a big packet of sweets. And what is it? I called all other Swami, my friends, brahmacharis. They were so happy. But that was the time of meditation, so what to do? Shall we keep it and after meditation we will eat? Then someone told, we will go on meditating on these sweets, let us distribute it and then go and... So everybody was hungry, so we distributed, we ate. And when we took out all the sweets, then I found in the below, there was written in a paper that Pithe Shai. Then that is like, I'm forgetting again. That means if you have eaten something, you can bear 1 or 2 blows on your back. So that is the way it goes. The life is like that. If you take it in a positive way, so I was a brahmachari. So if the seniors are scolding me, it doesn't matter, it's nothing. But that Swami should be saved. He was very sincere, very genuine. But because of the pressure of work, that particular thing missed from his mind. It doesn't mean that I have to blame him. So I didn't do that. The different type of situation comes, before it becomes a problem, if you can handle it properly, it becomes normal. But that is one thing. Here the doctor mentioned in this way, and Girish told, the Master Mahasaya is telling the Girish that if you are having Pithe Shai, Pete khele Pithe Shai, that is in Bengali. If you have eaten Pete khele Pithe Shai, Pit means the back, Pet means the belly. So if you are full, then one who has given that food, if he is saying something, you can bear it. So that he is mentioning, if you are getting everything from God, then obviously, if giving the some suffering, you can accept that. The God has given you everything. your life, your success, your everything, and a little bit of the thing that you are feeling you are suffering. Maybe some insult, maybe some this and that. So think, bear it. That's nothing. So Master Machines they told that to Girish Ghosh. Girish to the doctor, duty is dry. The doctor, why so? The Girish, then it is pleasant. They all laughed. The Girish is making him talk. So the duty is dry, then why so? Then it is pleasant. Master Moshe, again we come to the point that one likes opium for the sake of the religious that is served with it. Girish to the doctor, duty must be pleasant, or why do you perform it? Doctor, the mind is inclined that way. Master Mahasaya to Girish, that wretched inclination draws the mind. If you speak of the compelling power of inclination, then where is the free will? The doctor, I do not say that the will is absolutely free. Suppose a cow is tied with a rope. She is free within the length of that scope, but then she feels the pull of the rope. Sri Ramakrishna. Jodu Mallik also gave that illustration to the younger Naren. Is it mentioned in some English book? To the doctor, look here. If a man truly believes that God alone does everything, that he is the operator and the man is the machine, then such a man is verily liberated in life. This line we should mention the ones, look here, if a man truly believes that God alone does everything, that he is the operator and man is the machine, then such a man is verily liberated in life. That is the faith in the power of God. I am the machine. God is working through me. So I am not having the ego. Exactly this thing we find in the character of Mahavir Hanumanji. This Bir Hanumana, he did everything, but never took any credit. He always said, it is the Ramachandra, it is the Lord who has done it, and truly it is. If we look at our life, we are four brothers, suppose we have four brothers, and one is very, very intelligent and very successful in his life, the others are not. If we say that because of the parents or the schooling or the environment, that was same for these four boys. But why then one is so successful? Because of the God. There comes that. If you don't believe that, if you think that I have done it, and then it's okay, but when you fail, when you suffer, when you are unsuccessful, then you don't blame God. Then you have to say, oh, it is my failure, it's okay. That is okay. Now, when you are failure, you are blaming God. When you are successful, you are taking the credit for yourself. You should not. That is one thing. And here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioned, suppose one can understand in this way that I am successful, but it is not me. It is the God that is performing through me. And very modern time, Swami Vivekananda also showed that. It is not a small thing. He actually started the freedom movement. Each and everything started changing after his success in America. When you went back to India, the modern people, they won't know perhaps. But it is only one man who changed the complete the Indian mind, and they started fighting for the liberation. 200 years under the subjugation of the Britishers, the educated people, wealthy people, rich people, they all were very happy. Somehow we have to survive because the Britishers are powerful and we won't be able to fight with them. Britishers are ruling all over the world. They have all power. Now, suddenly it started. No, we need freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the first condition of growth, Swamiji said. I don't want anything else but freedom. His indication was very clear. And this political movement started, social movement started. And the ladies who were behind the curtains, they all came out. When? How? Who told them? And nobody asked any question. That long tradition of keeping the women behind the curtains, not giving them any education, everything in one go, everything went away. They were all on the streets and then all side by side with the men, they were facing the atrocities of the police. So this Indian freedom movement, if we see, that is a wonderful thing, and it happened with the will of God. After all this, Swami Vivekananda never took the credit. He never said it is because of me that you have got all this. But he said, no, God asked me to do, I did. I am the machine and God is the doer. So that is what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said. If a man can do like that, he is a liberated man. And Swami Vivekananda's life shows that he is a man of liberation. He was not having any bondage, any desire. Friends, we are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna for what? To understand spirituality. Why do we need spirituality? So that we can go beyond the circle of birth and death. Why do we like to go beyond this? Because we have realized it is suffering. We have understood it is suffering. If we have not yet understood it is suffering, then this scripture is not for us. We can read some other things, maybe some, but this is only for those who are genuinely, sincerely trying. It is not Christians or the Buddhists or the Hindus or Muslims. It is the genuine heart who has realized the folly of the worldly life and try to get the peace, eternal peace and happiness. You must read this book. And after all these arguments that the Dr. Sharkar and the Girish Ghosh and the Master Mahashaya, when we are reading that, it is not actually that what we wanted. Suddenly when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, you are doing, but mentally you know it is not me, because any time I am a great scholar, but suddenly one day morning, God forbid, if the person see that he is an Alzheimer patient now, he forgets. He doesn't know what he is doing, what will happen to him. There are so many patients are there. You go and ask about them. Some were very good, the mathematician, some were administrator, some were professor, so scientist, forgotten everything. So this is, we do not know what will happen to us. And we are so proud about ourselves. We have to be very, very humble. You are successful in your business, you are a multimillionaire, very good. But be humble and express this humbleness by helping others also. And they are the living gods. They want your services. By that way, next life also you will secure whatever you want. And if you want the eternal peace, spiritual life, that also you will get. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's this word, he said, it is possible that, look here, if a man truly believes that God alone does everything, that he is the operator and the man is the machine, then such a man is very liberated in life. Thou workest thine own work, men only call it theirs. Do you know what it is like? Vedanta philosophy gives an illustration. Suppose you are cooking rice in a pot with potato, eggplant, and other vegetables. After a while, the potato, eggplants, rice, and the rest begin to jump about in the pot. They seem to say their pride, "Oh, we are moving, we are jumping." The children see it and think the potatoes, eggplant, and rice are alive, and so they jump that way. But the elders who know explain to the children that the vegetables and the rice are not alive. They jump not of themselves, but because of the fire under the pot. If you remove the burning wood from the hearth, then they will move no more. Likewise, the pride of man, that he is the doer, spring from ignorance. Men are powerful because of the power of God. All becomes quiet when the burning wood is taken away. The puppets dance well on the stage when pulled by a wire, but they cannot move when the wire snaps. A man will cherish the illusion that he is the doer as long as he has not seen God, as long as he has not touched the philosopher's stone. So long will he know the distinction between his good and bad actions. This awareness of distinction is due to God's Maya, and it is necessary for the purpose of running his illusory world. But a man can realize God if he takes shelter under the Vidya Maya and follows the path of righteousness. He who knows God and realizes Him is able to go beyond Maya. This Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is now giving us the clear idea of the Vedanta. The Vedanta says that everything is nothing but the Supreme Brahman, the consciousness. And because of the consciousness, everything is surviving, is living. Sometimes in the modern time we can say, we see so many varieties of lights, bulbs, tube lights, fan, computer, TV. They are different sizes, different names, different forms, different actions. But one thing is common in them is the electricity. If the electricity is not there, they cannot function. Obviously, the same way, the birds, the animals, the human being, all that we see around us, if the prana, the soul, the self is not there, no one can function. So that is called the Atman. And that the Vedantins say it is a reflection of the consciousness within us. Even if the reflection is so powerful, think of the original. The sunlight is so bright when reflecting on a mirror, so dazzling. And think of the power of the light of the sun. The same way, that mirror should not be proud, should not think, "Oh, I am giving the light. I am dazzling the eyes of the people," because it is not its own light. So similarly, we also should think that the intellect, the capacity, whatever I am having, it is not mine. It has come from God. And what will happen if you think in that way? You become very, very humble. There is a Sanskrit proverb, Viddha dadati vinayam. Vinaya is humbleness. When you are truly learned, you become very humble. Sometimes some people, they boast, oh, I am from this university, I am from that university. But I have seen people, those who are teaching in that university, the professors, they never try to mention that, and so humble, so ordinary. Swamiji, actually I am a teacher, I am teaching. And where do you teach? Nothing, that university. And that famous university, they are the teachers. But that way, it is really, really very difficult. Those who are proud, they will never get the blessings of God, in the sense that happiness will never come. All these pages that we are reading today, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is very sick, and the doctor has come to treat him. Even then, he is going on trying to give the light particularly to the doctor. Why? Because he is argumentative and not understanding the right thing. That means the Atman properly. Sri Ramakrishna is, and that is the avatar. When Sri Ramachandra came, he never argued with anyone. He only punished. He punished the Ravana, he punished the many other Asuras. And Krishna came, of course he gave that Bhagavad Gita in the wonderful way, but the most of the time he was trying to establish the righteousness through the action of the kings. But when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna has come, he never punished anyone. But he is trying to transform the mind, the thoughts. That is very special. What is the work of Avatara? Why the Avatara comes? To establish righteousness. How do they do that? And this Rama and Krishna, and now we see the Sri Ramakrishna completely different. He is not showing any miracle, because immediately people will run for the miracle only. Even today, when people are planning to go to moon to purchase some land over there, to start staying over there, and that time also people are running after the miracles. Can you imagine? There's the weaknesses, very weakness. Some people will say, we are seeing the ghost, and someone came and whispered before me, and I saw this, I saw that. The weakness of the mind. Nothing happens like that. Even if it happens, so what is there? Suppose one comes and says, hey, I am a ghost. That's okay. What is there? What is the problem? If you are not disturbing me, okay. So by that way, you have to be strong, because I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the self. Self is not afraid of anything. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, we will conclude over here, he said that his Viddhamaya and follows the path of righteousness. He who knows God and realizes Him is able to go beyond Maya. He who firmly believes that God alone is the doer and He Himself is mere instrument is a Jivana Mukta. Is the terminology Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used, and with that Shankaracharya said, the human life is only to become Jivana Mukta. Jivana means living, Mukta means liberated. I am liberated when I am living, and that should be the goal of human life. Jivan Mukti, Sukha Prapti, Hetabe Janma Dharitam. And you should enjoy the human life, and while you are not at all attached to all this, and going straight, whatever is right, whatever is good, that I am doing. Whether people like it or not, I am in my own way. I am not hurting others, criticizing others, but what is good for others. But I feel that that should be in this way, I must try to do that. Jivana Mukta, free from fear, free from desire. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also mentioned that if you can become, you do everything, but think that you are only the machine, somebody else, the God, is using you to perform this. A free soul through living in a free soul, though living in a body. I said this to Keshab Chandra Sen. I'll stop over here. Now, Jivana Mukta and freedom. So, after some, what happens, that in Vedanta it says, maybe after the death, one become completely free. He will never come back to life. But some are there, very fortunate one, who are called Jivana Mukta. They are living in this world, but knowing that this is nothing but the Maya, they are enjoying the life. Suppose when we see the movie, we become attached to that and affected by that. But those who are making the movie, those cameramen and other people, they are not affected by that. They know what is happening. We say, oh my God, he is so powerful man. He is giving a blow and sending the opponent so far away. But the other, they know how they have done that. So they are not affected by that. Jivan Mukta is just like that. Just like that. He knows what is happening. Not affected by anything and enjoying all these actions. Thank you, friends, and we have to pray to the God that let me become Jivana Mukta in this very life. Thank you.
First question is by user SM. The question is about karma and bondage. How are we to perform karma for good result and give the result to God to go past karma?
With all the attention, that when we are learning something, we must pay our attention, learn it properly. Then when we are performing, I will be fully, completely dedicated to my work, my duty. And when I am successful, maybe a singer, maybe a doctor, maybe an engineer, whatever profession may be, I am successful. And when the people praises, the society gives you the different type of honor, you must think within the mind, it is not me, it is the God. And genuinely, you should give it to God, and there is no ego. That is called the right way of performing karma, and you are free from all the bondages of the karma. Thank you.
Next question is by YouTube user KAI. They are quoting Sri Thakur used to praise Saralata or simplicity. And the scene is, he also asked one of his disciples to be careful when buying things and said that being a devotee doesn't mean one has to be foolish. The question is, what is the difference between Saralata and foolishness?
Saralata is the Sanskrit word or Bengali word, and foolishness means bokami. Then boka means, the foolish means, he is not understanding what the other person is doing. But the saral is very intelligent. He understands what is going to happen. So he is not going to be fooled by others. So this is the difference. Is a saral, is a simple, he is not going to cheat anyone or do any harm, but he is very intelligent and clever. He understands everything. But the boka, he is not intelligent and he is not simple also. He just can't understand things. So these are two difference, and one should be saral, simple-minded but intelligent, but not the idiotic or the foolish. Thank you.
Kamal Chaudhary is asking, in Panchadasi it says God is Karta and Bhokta as well. Revered Maharaj has mentioned about Karta aspect. Could he also elaborate on Bhokta aspect? This is first part. Second part.
Let me. So this is from the Vedantic point of view, the Karta and Bhokta. Actually, I am not anything. The Panchadashi is a book of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, and this is correctly you have quoted. But when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, he is talking with the doctor, and through the doctor, all those people like us the dualist, we believe in the existence of God. So there he mentions the God is the doer and I am actually his machine just performing outside. So he is the, I am the machine, he is the operator. But Panchadashi says, from the point of view of Advaita Vedanta, that you know that Dvaita Vedanta and Advaita Vedanta? In Advaita Vedanta, everything is nothing but that consciousness, and that's a different viewpoint. Thank you. Next.
Part 2 is God enjoying our sufferings and pleasure as well.
This is again we have to understand uh, who created this world? God. How he has created this world? Out of himself. So who we are also gods. So when we are suffering, it is also God suffering. Not that he is just making us in suffering and enjoying. It cannot be. He also cries. So that is the way we have to. Tomari deva prane, tomari deva dukho, tomari deva mone, tomari anubhav, as Rabindranath says, if I am quoting correctly, that it is your mind, and in that mind you are giving the suffering, and you are suffering. It is you only. So that Vedanta that you mentioned, Advaita Vedanta, from that point of view, everything is God. Then why we are suffering? No, God never enjoys our suffering, and God is not also enjoyed our success. He is neutral. It is our karma phala, through that we go. To go out of the karma phala, sometimes success and most of the time suffering, what we should do? We should think that God is the doer, I am the machine only, surrendering to God everything. By that way, we can, but a direct answer to your question, is the God enjoying our suffering? Never, ever, never. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you for good, wonderful questions. Very interesting questions. Let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.